What if I told you that all these people have one thing in common, and that they have all gone through the process of shu-ha-ri? Shu-ha-ri is the Japanese concept that represents the 3 stages of learning. And to help explain this further, I'll use Bruce Lee as my example throughout this video. Shu is the first stage of the learning process. This is where you're learning the fundamentals. You typically follow a singular master or coach and obey all that they say without question. This stage is essentially where you're getting your reps in. You're making that muscle memory of the skill that you're trying to learn. Or if you're familiar with Malcolm Gladwell, this is where you're clocking in your 10,000 hours. As you know, Bruce Lee was a martial artist, and while living in Hong Kong, he studied under his renowned master, Ip Man. He was a dedicated student, and he did what his master ordered him to do. After years of apprenticeship, Bruce Lee moved to the United States, and this is where he entered the second stage of learning, or the Ha stage. The Ha stage is where you start to break away from the fundamentals that you were taught and start becoming your own. You may have heard people say when talking about people of their craft that they can see the influence of their master in their apprentice's work. As in, if you saw a fighter, you may see the style of their master within that person's fighting. Or if you're an artist, you may have seen their teachers or masters' art style heavily into the artwork of the apprentice. Or you may hear the master's sound or musical structure when the student is producing new work. Although it's not fully the master's work, you can see how heavy of an influence they had on their students' lives. Bruce Lee said, "Adapt what is useful, reject what is useless, and add what is specifically your own." And once you have gone through the process of making your own identity or style, you're now entering the third stage, which is the Ri stage. And this is where you transcend the rules that were given to you at the beginning. Typically, when you know someone from their work, you totally forget about the first 2 stages that they had to go through, even though that's what made them who they are today. And you tend to only remember them for their final stage of life. Bruce Lee entered the last stage of this learning process when he created his own style of martial arts. He had students where he would encourage them to question all that he was teaching, and I believe this was just to create a deeper understanding of what was being taught. And once you develop your understanding, you're going to be able to understand why you're doing what you're doing and transcend those rules and regulations that have been given to you from the beginning and create your own identity. So in order to master anything, you need to follow the learning process of Shu-ha-ri. So you need to find a master and learn the fundamentals. You need to adapt and break away from those master's teachings to help create your own identity. And then you transcend those rules that were given to you in the beginning and truly become your own master. Setting goals is probably the best thing you do in order to start this learning process of Shu-ha-ri. So check out this video if you want to learn how to crush any goal that you set out to do.